Hey, welcome to the Luxury Syndicate, where we embark on an exquisite journey to the heart of the luxurious world and share valuable financial life advice, as well as entrepreneurial insights. You have reached the perfect channel if you want success in your life and business. Make sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a comment. It's not ideal when someone reclines their seat back into your face on a plane because the seats aren't the biggest. The worst scenario is when you have to hopscotch down the aisle due to other passengers choosing to take advantage of the extra legroom. You know what a hassle it is to travel commercially if you've already had that happen on your flight. A genuine question though, do you really enjoy your flight with many inconvenient situations? Well, hear me out as I will share in this video the benefit of having a private jet and even its real cost. So buckle up. Some people find it luxurious to sit in row 42E all the way back. In a comfortable leather seat, you can have conference calls while flying through the clouds in a private aircraft while also whisking yourself away to a faraway location. If you're lucky, a private plane is one of the first investments you make to get where you're going. You can work, talk, eat, and sleep in the utmost comfort, with ample space for you and your work items. Believe me when I say that I haven't had to deal with a loud snoring man next to me on a flight in years. But I can't deny that there are certain disadvantages. Today, we'll examine the true costs of owning a private jet, which come with a number of substantial financial costs. What precisely do you have to do to keep a private jet once you own a real one? I'll mention how much it costs each year to fly and maintain the private jets. You must pay for each takeoff, each landing, each bag of peanuts, and each bottle of wine when using a private jet. Additionally, there are rental fees that you must pay each time your plane makes a stopover. In fact, there are landing costs that range from $100 to $500 that must be paid for each landing your plane makes, and there are hangar fees that cover the expense of storing your airplane. After all, you probably won't want to wait outside in the rain if you spent $100 million on your plane. The average annual cost of hangar fees is $81,000. Imagine that! Airlines charge up to $1,200,000 a month, or an outstanding $144,000 per year if you want your plane to be ready to fly at an airport like LAX. Obviously, a flight is a difficult undertaking, which necessitates insurance, and not simply any insurance either. It should pay for any damage to the aircraft and all of its systems, and it costs about $34,000 annually. Of course, it won't ascend if no one will maneuver the plane, hence, gathering a crew and sparing a budget for their salary is a huge step to take. On average, you should budget roughly $215,000 per year for a pilot, a co-pilot, and 2 flight attendants. Additionally, if you are the jet's owner, you'll require single liability insurance, which adds another $12,500 to the total. Fuel prices, which vary from plane to plane but may reach $53,000 for a single fill, are also an additional expense. Folks, if you have been following our spending, you know that we have been steadily ascending to a fair high. I bet the numbers we're calculating astonished you. This feels like turbulence, huh? Anyway, your crew will be charged for each flight, and get prepared as the expenses also cover launching, transportation, and food. Sending your crew back to your home base if you intend to stay at a location for a while may cost you a repositioning fee. There are a few extra fees that come with operating such a complicated piece of equipment on top of all these required and necessary fees. You must pay a pressure fee before your plane goes off the ground if you're traveling from Cuba to Florida in the middle of December in an effort to get away to a warmer climate. The cost of replacing a new tire is $8,000, and we're not done yet. A new windshield is $60,000. Better to pray that nothing will get out of control with your plane's engine and system. In other words, cross your fingers and hope that you're flying from a warm destination to a whole new destination with no repairs in store, or else your travel budget might get affected by these. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the price difference between aircraft. The Cessna Citation XLS, a small firecracker of a jet, is the most common private jet in the world. They can accommodate 8 passengers and 4 crew members. The Cessna is a little out of date, but it's frequently upgraded and outfitted with cutting-edge technology and luxurious touches. A modern Cessna will set you back around $14 million. A 10-year-old basic model will set you back around $4 million. If you fly around 200 hours per year, which is enough to fly from Los Angeles to London about 15 times, the plane will cost you around $85,000 to maintain. That works out to roughly $10.15 per mile. But maybe you want something a little nicer than an old Cessna Citation XLS. Maybe you want something luxurious, like the Gulfstream G650. This jet has a lounge area with a sofa and a flat-screen television that pops out of a credenza. The credenza also has an added bonus, a wine cabinet where chilled bubbly awaits. In my case, it's normally a nice white wine. There's also a dining room and a private stateroom room when a couch folds out into a double-sized bed. For being 30,000 feet above the ground, the bed is fairly comfortable, and I've had my fair share of nights in the Mile High Club. Actually, I created a list of things to do for a long flight on my Gulfstream G650. I might share it with you next time. To recap, Gulfstream costs about $1.6 million per year to operate. To fly 200 hours per year, which is about the average, the experience alone costs nearly $500,000. When you consider how much the plane cost to buy in the first place, it was around $65 million. You're talking about a substantial sum of money. You have another choice, though. You don't have to buy a plane. Instead, you can charter one. The Gulfstream costs around $13,000 per hour, while a mid-sized plane, the Cessna Citation, costs around $9,500 per hour. It does not come cheap either. You can expect to pay $3,000 per hour or $2,000 if you're lucky enough to charter a small plane. If you fly from California to Paris once a week, you'll incur some seriously huge charter fees. And we are boarding off. I could say that the world of private jets is outrageously expensive, however exciting, as luxury brings comfort and convenience. Let us know in the comments section what plane you want to own someday. If you guys enjoyed watching this, then make sure to hit the like button, and I would appreciate you subscribing to see more about fine living and luxurious life inspirations. This is the Luxury Syndicate. See you on our next travels.